3 years ago, we wanted to bring it to the elementary level as a way to get kids who maybe weren't into sports or weren't into music, a sense of community is what the idea was. And so I am certainly not the brains of the operation. It was something we had discussed at a faculty meeting when my wife and I worked in the same building, and we had a very supportive administration. And so we started with just a summer camp of, here are esports, they are video games, here are some jobs you could get, whether it's playing the games or some of the outside items that come into making a video game. And from there, we just built a small community that turned into programs for our school.
Yeah, so it turned into after-school clubs, and then teachers are signing out an esports lab throughout the day, and we're just trying to build something. And then competitions like this are great because it also gives us purpose to host some of those lessons. We did have a little tryout process where they showed off some of their builds, they answered some questions to talk about like dedication, and then this group has been working over lunch and recess pretty exclusively for the last couple of weeks, brainstorming, planning, and then we were working through the lessons through Cleverlike to kind of figure out and enhance our skills. It was great, and we had experience with Minecraft, but we were saying the whole time that it's very step-by-step. It's easy for teachers to kind of follow along. If you don't know anything, everything is spelled out and scripted. And even for our kids who thought that they were Minecraft experts, it was neat to show them some of the ins and outs and get them to level up their skills. So like color gradients was a huge thing, understanding 8-bit design and playing with that. And we used all of that even in our competition builds. So I felt like I really saw the transfer of skills, and it forced them to slow down and understand, like, what are we doing? What's the aesthetic piece to it? So it wasn't just, you know, building the same house in Minecraft again and again.
Right, and then at the middle school, kids get tired of doing the same sort of posters or Google Slides sort of presentations for projects. I introduced it to some middle school teachers. We started to do some of the ancient Civ projects. We started in Egypt, and the idea was just have the kids like start with a pyramid, start small, and I undersold the whole thing. They go home, they work on it, they want to do homework. They're coming back with these full ancient Egypt cities now, scattered throughout their Minecraft land. So it's neat to see the kids get engaged and then want to go beyond what even the teacher is expecting. We've sold it to some of the math teachers as well. It's usually the perimeter area to start, and or if you were given a budget with a supply per block, like what would the house cost? You know, what's the square footage? How many bedrooms or bathrooms could you put into it? And then if you let the kids, because they always want to do that extra creative piece, you know, they want to put running water in, or somebody had, and I don't know how they did it, but it was playing music as you walk through the front door, and you're like, this is awesome. So, and
I know ELA, we do Percy Jackson as a read aloud, and so one of our Minecraft projects was redesign Camp Half-Blood, and so the kids redesigned a cabin for a Greek god or goddess, and it was really cool, and teachers started to enjoy just looking at how they applied what they learned from the book, their research on Greek mythology, and designed those cabins, and the kids again loved it and did so much more research. Like previously we did a playing card activity where they created a playing card for a Greek god, and this allowed them to go so much deeper, and the kids absolutely loved it.
And kudos to the teachers for being willing to try. Like we were kind of the guinea pigs for it, but they absolutely have stepped up, and people are willing to go out of their comfort zone, whether they're gamers or not, to bring it to their classroom. So it's
visiting teachers even popping in, and the kids are all on their Chromebooks, fully engaged in conversations, and like, wait, what are you doing? And so that's been really neat to just like organically spread. They're like, what are the kids talking about? What are you working on? Why are they constantly trying to come up to your classroom to finish this project? And so definitely motivating. I think just that there's real learning. We were just talking about our son. We're like, he learned to code in 2 weeks because he was all excited about what you could do in Minecraft. And when you see him reading tutorials and like watching YouTube and figuring out how to do it, you're like, it is meaningful, and there's a lot that goes beyond the surface. It's not truly just playing video games. And so sometimes there's that belief that...
Yeah. And I would also tell administration, like, this is the world and the space that a lot of these kids live in. And while I find value in a lot of the things that we do across the board, meeting them in a space that they are comfortable with is empowering to them. And I think then you have more willingness to learn, and you get a lot more from your students.
And kids are naturally in these spaces, and we're like, I think we need to teach them how to behave and grow in those spaces, rather than just throwing them into a digital world and saying, hey, good luck.
Don't be afraid of it, embrace it, and then set boundaries like we do with anything else, and then that's where we go from. I realize for like the subject I teach, not all kids love social studies. But I tell them, if you like coming to my class, whether you like the social studies part of it, hopefully that means you like school, you find a passion, and then you can go out and explore what that passion is later in life from some of these skills like teamwork, communication, and all the things, some of those soft skills we try to learn in between the lessons.
Well, and he found his community, right? Like, it's a bunch of friends who are all interested and excited, and they cheer each other on. And so finding good people to surround himself with is like one piece of it. And then again, finding something that he loves that he can pour himself into, because we see that excitement and hyper focus, and it's like, all right, let's give you a space to really shine.